My name is Kevin Stark. I'm an environmental engineering graduate student, and I'm essentially studying water treatment for drinking and wastewater. That's always been an interest of mine, particularly because water influences people so much. We all need it around the world here, and it's just been a good thing to start research.
I am Michael Mall, and I'm a grad student here at the University of Missouri, working on my master's degree, and I'm doing a bit of research that's related to biofuel crops. I'm comparing sweet sorghum and switchgrass, and just looking to see how they both take carbon that's up in the atmosphere and pull it back down into the soil.
I'm Andy, and this is my wife Emily.
Hi. I was an English teacher for a few years, and now I'm a homemaker. I stay home with Nathan and our son who's about to be here, Owen.
Professional mom.
Okay. A few of the bigger things we do around the house to conserve energy and therefore care for creation. Our biggest one is our thermostat. We keep it pretty cold in the winter and keep it pretty warm in the summer. And we also try to conserve water, so I hand wash all our dishes. We have a washing machine that uses a very small amount of water, and if I am doing some sort of cleaning in the house, I'll try to reuse that water. We also take quick showers and install faux shower heads. I try not to use things that are wasteful, so we only take out about 1 bag of trash every 2 weeks. So we try not to throw anything away. So in that, I mean, we use cloth diapers, which we line dry. We don't use our dryer, unless there's a rainy season. But and we also don't buy very many packaged things that would have a lot of packaging that we would toss. So I try to buy things in bulk. We buy recycled paper products. Our toilet paper is recycled. We use probably a roll of recycled paper towels one a year, and our trash bags are recycled. Just things like that you can buy in bulk that wouldn't have a lot of packaging. And I think
I am an ecologist, and I am also a doctoral student at MU in biology. My area of research is ecology and conservation of migratory songbirds. So I'm interested in how plants and animals interact with their environment, but I'm also interested in how what we as humans do, or how humans influence songbird populations, so that ultimately we can protect them, conserve them, and use resources wisely.
The past 2 years of my college career have been focused on essentially learning how to farm, learning how to grow food, learning how to be more self-sufficient, make use of natural resources more wisely. I'm studying sustainable agriculture in school, and Natalie and I have the dream of one day having some land and having a small vegetable farm with a bed and breakfast, being able to offer a CSA, so community-supported agriculture subscription, to people of all income levels, being able to provide wholesome, nutritious food to people who wouldn't otherwise have access to it. And right now, before we reach that end goal, that dream, we're gardening in our front yard.
Right now, what I'm doing is I'm working with the CCUA, Columbia Center for Urban Agriculture. I'm an educational intern there, and I'm working with Moving Ahead at the Blind Boone Center, and we're actually building a community school garden there for their after-school program. And just seeing these kids that live in the housing authority and they don't have very much, and just seeing their eyes light up and smiles as they plant their first seed and watch it grow, as they plant these flowers in their own school garden. It's so exciting to see that, you know, that communities can be changed through the simple planting of a seed.
I've always had a passion for people, particularly people's basic needs, and water is right up there. I mean, the most basic needs of human beings. and so I wanted to use my own gifting in the area of engineering and math and science to be able to supply for people's basic needs and help out with that. And through that, I've actually come to more and more of an appreciation of God's creation, especially just lakes, rivers, streams, water.
So because God created all the plants and animals, that means everything that God created has value because God created it for himself. So a lot of plants and animals don't necessarily have any value to man. Some do, but most plants and animals don't have any monetary or utilitarian value for man. But they're valuable just because God created them for himself, and we're in a way responsible for stewarding. We hear about stewardship a lot in the church with money, and that's important, of course, but the same concept applies to the creation that God has entrusted us with.
We look at in Genesis 1, and just the clearest example of just what we're called to do as humans, that God has put us in the garden to take care of it, to manage it. And even after the fall, when Adam was forced to go out and deal with the briars and the thorns, we see God's plan of redemption just being enacted when he sent Jesus 2,000 years ago to begin that process of redeeming his creation, redeeming this world. And so we look forward to one day the new heaven and new earth, when it talks about in Revelations, when we get to enjoy the wonderful new creation that God brings about. And so I think that God calls us as humans, each one of us as believers, to take small steps or big steps to begin to take part in that regeneration and that recreation.
So for me, following Jesus is more than just confessing Christ. It's loving my neighbors, and for that, it's not just the people on the street, it's also my global neighbors. So when I do things around the house that are not fun, I think about, I'm not using resources that I don't have to use, because I just don't want to take up more of my share. And I feel like as Americans, we're brought up doing that. I mean, you can't even help but do that.
Well, as God's children, I believe that we're called to steward our Father's creation, to be responsible for it, to take care of it. In Genesis, God creates the earth, he creates the plants and the animals, and he calls that creation good. Though sin has occurred, that creation still is good. And though we have dominion over the earth is not ours to just do with whatever we wish to it. And I believe that, in light of that fact, knowing that in a sense creation is a gift from God to us, and we're responsible for caring for it. Just as Christians, more than anyone else, we should act upon that responsibility, taking care of this earth that we've been given. And I believe that there's so much joy that's found in having that connection to the earth, having that strong connection to God's creation.
As far as restoring the earth is concerned, I don't know, I think of all of the abandoned lots that we see and all of the areas that have just been destroyed, walking through the city of God, there were just so many areas that have just been destroyed from human use, and there's so much soil erosion and trash, and people are living on heaps of trash, and I just think about those places could be made into gardens that feed these populations, and God has called us to love everyone, but also love the earth. And so I think it's our call to restore the earth, to make intentional choices, live as a community that celebrates this awesome gift that God has given us.